Hi, it's Carrie. Today's Friday won't be 5 minutes, but it will be a Friday, and what I'd like to do is show you a tool that I have made with Claude that you can use too. Now, I have a lot of disclaimers and a lot of things I want to say about it, which is why I don't think this will be a 5-minute Friday, but we'll see where it goes. So the first couple disclaimers are, I built this with my own Claude account that I've paid for. A couple weeks ago, decided to go ahead and pay the annual fee to use Claude. As of then, 2026, it's about $212 a year. I had been using it for various things, and I thought I could use it for things like this, what I'm going to show you. So I built it on my own time with my own account. The second thing is, I'm aware of the conversations going on, especially in libraries right now, about AI. I know the controversies are about energy and climate and water and data centers and ethical use. I'm aware of all that, but I think that AI is going to be here whether I decide to use it or not. And I think people are going to be using it whether I decide to use it or not. And so if I can create something that makes things just a little bit better for systematic review authors, editors, peer reviewers, searchers, whatever, then I think I will. My opinion on that might change in a year or 2 years. We'll see. But I'm human, and that's my philosophy as of now. The third thing is, you need a Claude account to use this. And it doesn't have to be a paid account. You can use this with a free Claude account. So if you just sign up for Claude, get your free account, this is basically a shell that fits over top of your Claude. And with that being said, everything you put in it and everything you get out of it, the only person who sees it is you. I don't see your data. I don't capture your data. Nobody else sees your data. This is all for you to use for your own purposes. And because you're using your own Claude account, I'm not seeing any of it. So rest assured, I'm not seeing the grade that you get when you do finally put in your search methods. Now what it does is take your methods narrative as part of your systematic or scoping review, and it grades it on the PRISMA-Search extension. Now what is the PRISMA-Search extension? If you've been in the systematic review space for any amount of time, you are aware of the word PRISMA. You know what it means, hopefully. But it's a reporting guideline for how you should report your systematic review. Now, they have checklists for systematic reviews. They have extensions for scoping reviews, protocols, abstracts, other things here. I don't use those very much. But in 2020, we got the PRISMA-Search extension. The PRISMA-Search extension is a 16-item checklist for reporting your search. By extension, anyone who says, I did this review with Prisma, I mean, you should have all these items covered, or many of them covered. And that's definitely not the case. So my biggest concern is that people are saying, oh, well, my mentor said Prisma, or this other person said Prisma, so I'm going to say I used Prisma too. What's very clear to me is that no one's actually reading Prisma, because when you say you use Prisma, you don't even meet the most basic requirement of the preferred reporting items for systematic reviews and meta-analyses, or any of its extensions. Now, I would say this is discipline agnostic. What I get a lot is, oh, Carrie, I'm in education. I don't use the Prisma. We don't use the Prisma. There's nothing on here that makes this checklist specific to clinical medicine or science. If you're reporting a search strategy in a review, you should be using the PRISMA-Search extension to make sure that you've reported it transparently. Because the search is a foundational part of any review, I don't think it's too much to ask that people, readers, read your review and understood how you got what you got. That's all. That's all it is. So what I did, and I'm going to X out of this now, I uploaded this checklist into my Claude, and then I gave it some prompts in order to create this, which Claude calls an artifact. I called it an app. Someone else called it a widget. But it's going to take your search methods and it's going to grade it against the PRISMA-Search checklist. So I'm calling it the PRISMA-Search Auto-Reviewer. Now, before you go all copyright on me, the PRISMA-Search extension is CC BY attribution, so derivatives are allowed. And I actually did check with one of the authors for permission. So I know there's a lot of concern about copyright and AI too, but this is a derivative and I think that's allowed under the license. Okay, so I uploaded the PRISMA-Search extension here, and then I gave it some prompts. I did some iterating, by which I mean I uploaded method sections, saw what the results look like, and prompted it to change something or change the interface or change the grading system, so on and so forth. My grading system is transparent. It's right here on the right. So of the 16-item checklist, to get an A means your search methods look good. At least 1, 8, and 13 all need to be marked yes with no ambiguity. So yes, you provided your search strategies. Yes, you had a search date. And yes, you named your databases and platforms. A B, get 2 of those 3. A C has 1 of those 3 marked yes. A D means that they're either ambiguous or some pass, but none of those core 3 do. And there's an automatic F override. The automatic F override is for anyone who says they conducted according to PRISMA, because as we just saw, PRISMA stands for reporting items and not conducting items. There's not very much in any of these checklists that tell you how to conduct. If it is apparent that you didn't actually read PRISMA and you don't understand that it's a reporting guideline, then it's an automatic F. Okay, are we ready to use the tool? So what I did was go to PubMed. I looked for the systematic review subset. I looked for articles that were free full text, so NPMC, PubMed Central, the Open Access Archive component of PubMed. And as you know with my videos from the past, it's never my intent to shame anyone or to call anyone out. So I'm just going to be popping some methods in here. I'm not going to be citing them, and I'm not even really going to give you much of a chance to read them. I want you to see the output that you get, and then you can try this on your own. So let me open this in my other window. I found one with a pretty chunky methods section. It's quite long. I'm going to paste it here, and I'm going to click Run Appraisal. Now, it does take a little time. If you're using a free account, you get fewer tokens, so you might only be able to do a couple of these at a time or one a day. I don't really know. And if you're using a paid account, you can probably do a few more. So even though, I'm just going to, let's just delete it. I just feel bad about calling anyone out. But okay, so what it's telling us, and I have it open in my other window so I can confirm, that it's flagging database name and platform because, and sometimes they're just flags. Sometimes they can be fixed easily. But let's see. It said PubMed without saying what platform, but PubMed is both a platform and a database, so that's kind of okay here. EBSCOhost is listed for Medline. Central, it says the Cochrane Controlled Register of Trials, parentheses, Central, but it doesn't name a platform, which would probably be Wiley. It says Europe PMC, and it says EBSCOhost, Medline, and ProQuest, Gray Literature. So it's a little conflated, a little confusing, and they didn't quite get it right. So it's good that it was flagged here. It would need a little bit more attention. Now, multi-database searching is not always done, is not always required to report. If you didn't do it, you don't report it. Study registries, same. If you didn't search registries for trials, then you didn't have to report it. Did you do any online browsing? It says ProQuest described as gray literature, but no browsing method or terms described. I'm guessing they probably looked at ProQuest dissertations and theses, but missed the name of it. So I would have this review team go back and specify. Citation searching, no mention of that. It is a best practice. It's not absolutely required, but I think it probably should be worth looking at. Contacts, no mention of contacting authors, experts, or manufacturers for additional studies. No other methods were described. Flag, full search strategies. Keywords listed, but full strategies reference supplementary table 1. Acceptable if the table contains search strategies, exact strategies. I've already closed this review, and again, I'm trying to keep this on the shorter side, so I won't go looking, but the flag means you should go look. You should be cognizant of the fact that you need to submit your search strategies, all of them exactly as run. Limits and restrictions. Non-English articles were excluded, but no justification was provided for this language restriction. If you know me and bias, I say you should probably include all languages and screen them out for whatever reasons that you can't translate or you don't have the capacity, but I personally don't think it should be part of your search. Search filters, no mention. Prior work, no mention. Updates, no mention. And last search date given, they got all three, the day, the month, and the year. So that's good. I asked for it to have the day, the month, and the year, and not just July 2024. No peer review of search strategies, that's okay. Kind of, not everybody's doing it all the time. Okay, here's the grade. No total records per database, although this and deduplication, 15 and 16, could potentially show up in the results. So this would be a flag for me where I would go and make sure that in the results, the total records and the deduplication was being reported. Actually, I think deduplication would probably show up in the methods, but the total records, your Prisma flow diagram. So this gets a D because we have 1 yes, 2 are flagged, and there's a couple we need to look at in greater detail. So if this were the research team, you'd say, okay, we got a D. We're going to go back and we're going to look at these items, make sure we comply with at least the bare minimum, which I would consider to be number 1, number 8, and number 13. Okay, now I pulled one more method section. Oh, there's no output from this. This is all you get. So if you wanted to, I guess you can leave me feedback if you have feedback about the user interface. This is copy and pastable, but I don't have any way to export it at this time. For me, it's a one and done kind of thing. You run it, you see where you are, you go back and edit. All right, I'm going to now put my second search methods here. It has information sources, search strategy, and I'm going to paste it and run appraisal. Okay, and we got back the results. Let's just look at the grade first. Okay, let's scroll down. B, items 8 and 13 are met. There's a specific date. The strategy is provided. Item 1 is flagged because the platforms are missing. Not yes. So it's a grade B. Gives you some notes. 2 planned databases, Global Index, Medicus, and all, were not searched due to access issues, reducing comprehensiveness. Platforms for all databases should be named to satisfy item 1. Okay, so let's look at what it said. Databases named, but platforms not specified. Science Direct is a platform, not a database, kind of. Definitely not searchable, like, whatever. Okay. Multi-database searching, no, no, no. Citation searching, yes, that's nice. Full search strategies, yes. And I can confirm by looking at the Word document in my other window that indeed they do have the full search strategy for PubMed. It is incorrect, however, because instead of square brackets, they've used parentheses for field tags. So if I ran it, it wouldn't work. But that's another problem for another day. They tried. Okay. And we do see that in addition to PubMed, they've provided the others in a supplemental file. All right. So B needs a little work. Some of the criteria are met. Now, let me copy this and delete. I'm just going to do this myself. I made this up. The search was conducted according to Prisma. Now remember what I said in the beginning. You don't conduct with Prisma, you report. We searched Medline, Science Direct, and Embase for the words COVID and vaccine in July 2020, let's say 3. That's it. And you do see this sometimes. Let's run the appraisal. Medline and Embase named, but platforms not stated. Science Direct is not a standard database. Woohoo! No. Dates of searches not sufficient. Just July 2023 makes it not reproducible. Didn't name my number of records or anything like that, but it's a forcing an F because I said I conducted with Prisma. that misrepresents PRISMA as a conduct standard rather than a reporting guideline. It gives me some notes. So this is fun. Here's how I envision people using it. Librarians, for fun, of course, but also for writing method sections, systematic reviewers for writing method sections, and last but not least, editors. There are so many journals that say instructions for authors. If you're submitting a systematic review, you should follow PRISMA. And so then the authors say, oh, okay, we followed PRISMA. But they didn't do PRISMA. And so I would say to authors, take the methods section, put it in here, and see what you get back, because they didn't follow PRISMA if they didn't do the bare minimum of reporting their search for a systematic review. Now, if you have concerns, thoughts, feedback about using AI for this, please leave a comment below, and I will accept it with humility. And if you want to know where to use this tool, how to use this tool, I will put a link in the video description. However, if I make changes to this tool ever, if I adapt it or fix it or anything to the user interface, it's going to have a new URL. So what I'm going to do instead, it's on my website. It's called the PRISMA-Search Auto-Reviewer, requires a Claude account, and I will keep this updated with the most current URL. I've made a few other updates here. There's a PubMed search checker, there's a term harvester, and I'll be talking about those tools later on. They are also Claude tools that I created and I'm very excited about, but I think I'm really the most excited about the PRISMA-Search Auto-Reviewer. So take a look, use it for yourself, see how it can help you, see how it can help your teams, see how it can improve published research all around the world, and I'll see you next time.